far out of the way so that you definitely have the optimal start.
Yeah, and I think we're about ready.
I think so too. This is going to be very exciting. You guys do want to take into account that this game, especially in the early game, has some very, very punishing tricks that can immediately change the pace of a race, which we're going to be talking about them, obviously. And you guys better get your Bless RNGs ready, because we really want those runners to land those tricks, like hopefully first try, so that we can have a pretty close race here.
Yeah, Cap Kingdom being, the first split in the game and also being a really short kingdom is super optimized. Runners go for really hard stuff at the beginning.
And
I think we started. Let's go. So yeah, Cap Kingdom is a very common reset point in the race. You go for all the strats in Cap Kingdom. It's very easy to miss, very easy to reset in Cap. So hopefully they get it.
The thing is, Cap Kingdom from the start is a linear kingdom. There's only one job you do. You go through the kingdom and fight the boss. So there never was like a route change. The only thing that got optimized is strats. So this kingdom is like 2 minutes 20 if optimal. And I think actually it almost looked like Stravos might have gotten a longer load there. We have been talking about this, but this looked very unnaturally long.
Yeah, I don't know if he started late or if he actually got the slow load.
No, I think they started kind of at the same time. But there's a lot to talk about. For example, that strat right here that Nicro did, also Chaos did it. Pretty much everybody goes for it now. Yep. If you go into first-person mode when hitting this lever, there's a first-person mode. It's pretty much useless. But if you do it there, you can skip the camera panning of the before the bridge appears. It's a super small optimization for your recent.
Yeah, it's a small optimization. It's pretty recent and it's being used in other kingdoms as well. That's really cool. Something that we found in Cap and we kind of applying it to other parts of the run. Really cool stuff. So all the run is pretty even right now. Lilker's bonked going to the switch. I think that's the only major mistake I've seen so far. So here we're reaching left side Cap.
Which is immediately one of those tricks where if you miss it, you take like a 3 to 4 second loss, and it looks like Curbs actually missed it.
Yep.
And now he has to back it up, and this can hurt, as we see right there. This can be a big thing.
Yeah, not a good start for Curbs. He's definitely struggling, but hopefully, he recovers.
So, and I do want to say, Chaos had some issues with the frog capture there. Kurt's obviously some issues on left side, but Stravos, he's actually known as the best player in this kingdom. His cap time is amazing, and he already caught up so much. I mean, apparently he started late, but he's like super. He made up all the time. Basically.
Yeah, Stravos actually has the world record for Cap Kingdom. He actually got a 220 on physical yesterday, which is really impressive stuff. So that's Cap. Boss fight, not really much to say. It's just fast as for the boss. Just take the hats out and kill the boss. Nothing crazy. We're reaching Cascade, another really big point of resets because of this trick called FMS.
FMS basically means first moonskip runners skip the first intended moon here by doing a pretty precise movement here on top of the rock. And that rock has like really weird properties. We see three times here the runners getting it first try. That's really big. Usually in races this can be a big pace changer. But all of the three getting
that's real. Let's see if Curves can do it too. Oh, he missed it. It looks pretty simple, but it's actually really finicky. Like you said, the rock is weird. Like the collision is where you need to get Cappy in the right position to be able to bounce out of it. It's definitely way harder than it looks. Nowadays, top runners, if they miss it once, they pretty much miss it.
Essentially, you need to climb like an invisible wall, so you need a specific amount of height. And your cap dive, you can miss an input and stuff. It's a really weird trick, and it can be very punishing, especially in race setting.
Yeah, this trick is exclusive to version 1.0. We're gonna be talking about the versions later in the run. But it's basically the main reason why runners decide to run in 1.0. It's this trick that saves up to like 20 to 25 seconds.
So, and I do want to get into a pretty recent discovery here, because we're probably going to be seeing it as the last moon in this kingdom, which is there's no official name, but moon clipping has been the name we've been using. There's actually several ways to get out of bounds in this game. One of them being the roll cancel clip. We'll see that later in Sand Kingdom. But the moon clip that recently got discovered discovered by, actually the mechanic kind of got discovered by Minyash, the clip unintentionally by Robin, Cyrex, and Circle, the biggest like glitch hunter, actually made the trick work in a real kingdom.
Yeah.
And the way it works is if Mario is upside down collecting a moon and throwing his cap at the same time, he's gonna get in a tilted position. Maybe we have Nicro showing it off right here. So he's gonna try to backflip into the moon, throw his cap to get the tilt position. And yeah, we see it right there. The game actually warped him up out of bounds. So he could throw his cap and travel out of bounds to get to the globe.
Nice. So Chaos also went for it and got it. I don't think Stravos went for it, but they're all pretty much tied. Lil Curvis is falling a bit behind, but yeah. Moon Clip, really cool trick. It's actually not that hard. It's surprisingly not that hard. It's just very precise, and you only get one chance. You know, you either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see it again later in Wooded Kingdom. In Wooded Kingdom is a really big deal because you know
It's
getting
way
that clip, it can save you like 20 to 25 seconds too. So hopefully you know they get it again.
So the clip right there saves like 1.5 seconds, but we are gonna get into it in a later kingdom. There, it's pretty much, it allowed an entire new route to exist just because of that mechanic being found. But you guys see it, it's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. So we're reaching Sun Kingdom. Sun Kingdom, I want to say nowadays, not really a big problem for top runners. You know, back in the day, Sun Kingdom was a headache for runners. You know, Sphinx Clip being one of the hardest tricks at that point. You know, you had to clip through the wall. It's a, I don't want to say frame perfect, but it's very tight on the inputs. And you also have Dram that we're gonna see, also a pretty precise trick. You know, obviously top runners go for everything. I think nowadays Sun is not that bad. They pretty much have it down, but you know, hopefully it's smooth in the race.
A very interesting change regarding Sand Kingdom is actually most top runners. There's two ways of doing the hardest trick here is probably Sphinx Clip, and there's two ways of doing it. You can actually clip out of bounds twice to save a little more time, but it's not easy. You can easily lose time. And since that new wooded route recently got found, which offers a huge time save, a lot of the top runners actually decided to go for the easier version of the Sphinx Clip to actually get to wooded. And we're also going to be probably seeing some small routing differences here as we come up on Dram. I'm going to be talking about that. Minor change that I have been looking into lately, and we have been able to find a little time save there.
Yeah, so Dram strat is a strat created by Dram the runner. Nowadays we basically call it a Dram strat where you know you leave Cappy behind, you grab a moon, and then you use the Cappy that you left behind to capture something, and Mario basically teleports. So that's basically like a Dram, and this is the original one, the one in Sand. You're gonna see the runners leaving Cappy in the air with an up throw, grabbing the moon downstairs, and then you know teleporting to the bullet bill.
So Stravos actually did a very specific version of them, as he's not gonna get the moon in the crate here. He's gonna be skipping that moon in the crate to collect the moon later on. And because we timed that recently, that's actually the fastest route right now. It is probably, I mean, both routes are hard. It's pretty much personal preference, but on a flat theoretical level, the route that Stravos is doing right now is the faster route. You're gonna be seeing the difference here.
Yeah, so it might look like Stravos is ahead, but it's actually, you know, he didn't grab a moon, so he's gonna grab it at the end in the Oasis. That's why it looks like he's ahead. And he's reaching Sphinx Clip.
First try.
He got it. First try, impressive.
And he's doing the single clip method, where he just clips out of bounds, gets that shifting sand moon, and then enters the Sphinx. We might see a double clip here. I actually don't think so. In a race, clipping twice can be very punishing because if you miss it, you are like kind of stuck. But
yeah,
maybe.
So
I don't know.
Double clip saves 3 seconds over single clip. You know, in runs they obviously go for it. In a race, you know, you might want to be safe. So the way the clip works is, you know, rolling is basically the main movement option when you're in the ground in this game. It's the fastest option, and you can immediately cancel the roll by throwing Cappy. You have to basically jump and throw Cappy at the same time. And you know, we found that in some walls, in some specific walls, if you do, I don't want to say frame perfect, but if you do a very precise roll cancel against the wall, you can actually go through it. And that's what you're seeing here in the Sphinx.
We did see all runners go for the single clip method, which I can't blame them for. Lose those 3 seconds, but be safe in a race.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, the right call.
And he also pointed out that actually all of them got a first try.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, really good stuff by the runners. Very good stand by all of them. I think all of them got Dram too. So, you know, really solid stuff.
So if Stravos actually gets the Nodes moon, which is, he's the only one gonna be picking up that moon. If he gets that cleanly here, he's probably on gold pace. The bird that he's actually encountering right here is on a global cycle, starting his way when he's leaving swing, so that bird cycle isn't optimal. But if he's clean on that last nodes here, this was an incredible sand. Incredible.
Yeah. Really clean stuff for sure. By all of them, really. So here we see nodes by Stravos. And
Yeah,
nice.
that's a goal.
Really
That's amazing.
That was really clean. I don't know if it's a goal because he did single clip, but definitely really solid.
Oh my goodness, Stravos is actually playing out of his mind right now. That spin pawn too. That's actually might come close to a sub 5, which is like an amazing send time. And you see how far ahead he is now. Like he was pretty even with Chaos at the start.
And when the run started, he was behind due to load times. We're not sure what really happened, and now he's ahead. So really good stuff by Strav.
Playing clean and also abusing, kind of quote unquote, abusing the route change. He definitely saved around a second at least with it here. Overdoing
so that was a 10-20 fade out sand for Stravos. Really solid stuff. Really good. 10-20 is world record pace, basically. Other runners pretty close though. The best is gonna be a 10-20. Curbs is probably gonna be like a 10-40, something like that. 10-45 maybe.
So Curbs still trailing a bit behind, but that's basically where like the time he lost on FMS. I think all of them really getting a very good sand. And I mean, you kind of predicted it. Top runners don't really have issues with it anymore. But that's not expected that all of them get such a good sand actually.
Yeah, no, it was really impressive. So Lake, really shocking them again. There's nothing that's really hard in Lake. But nowadays with this game, even though the game is very young, we are reaching levels of optimizations that are pretty crazy. And even kingdoms like this, like look really simple and short, they are crazily optimized these days. Yeah. Even the fish movement is very optimized.
And I'll also quote you on this one. I think you said that to me once. You don't want to sleep on those kingdoms too, because small mistakes in this game. Actually, one thing I want to point out, not all of you might know this, but if you lose health in this game, Moon's actually going to replenish your health, which sounds nice, right? But that means a small animation is going to pop up, and you lose, I think, 2 seconds on that one.
Yeah, it's like 2 seconds if you only took damage once, and like maybe like a bit more if you took more damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, taking damage in this game is taking damage in this game is even if you don't die, it can be very punishing. It's also, this is a game that has basically no RNG. There are instances of RNG, but it's very controllable, and it's you can play around it. You're not gonna lose time basically because of it. So even mistakes like this, like taking damage that you lose 2 seconds, it's actually a big deal in a game with no RNG. It's actually a lot of time.
Well, Lake pretty much done. There's some tricks we didn't even get to talk about here, like the fish jump, which is a pretty cool looking trick too. It's kind of self-explanatory though. Actually, all of those tricks that you see, like the roll against the flower there, is something those guys make it look easy. They make it look like a button press. But all of those tricks will actually, when you learn this game, cost you like a run. And you are like, oh, I failed there. I took damage on the fish. I didn't get the pillar moon quickly. There's so much into like going into this game. It's actually crazy for the age of this.
And it's actually, sometimes it's really hard to get to Lake. It's really hard to get past Cascade and Sand, and finally you get to Lake, and you miss that jump, and it's not good times. Trust me. It can definitely screw you up. So Lake is done. It was pretty clean by all of them. I didn't see any major stuff, and we're reaching one of the major points of the run, which is Wooded.
So these days, I think it's actually almost the race. I mean, there's a few things, but it used to be always FMS, but now the nut clip we use in Wooded, Tish is gonna kind of try to explain you that crazy route that kind of just happened. It came all together so well. Like we were already looking into rerouting this very open kingdom as we found a clip into the wall, which we abused a roll cancel clip there. And then suddenly at a perfect spot to make that route even better, we realized you could actually utilize the moon clip there.
Right, so hopefully we don't see the roll cancel. Hopefully all of them get the nut clip and we don't see the roll cancel. But this route started with a roll cancel similar to what you saw in Sand on top of the Sphinx. We found a wall we could clip. We saw a moon out of bounds, and we made a route that lets you grab the moon out of bounds and basically change the route completely. After that, we found this moon clipping, which makes it even faster. So, this new wooded route is, I want to say, like 25 seconds faster than the old one. I'm pretty sure
On
that it's
average,
around.
yeah, on average.
Yeah, on average, it's a crazy route that is really new. I mean, it's probably like a month old by now. Uh,
So and
and
this
yeah,
was
so
this was at a point where people actually lost their goals to missing a cap throw on a globe, and then we suddenly find a 25 seconds time save.
exactly, yeah. So Stravos is getting to the moon clip. Let's see if he gets it. Basically, the same trick you saw in Cascade applied to this moon.
This looks
It
good.
seems like he got it. That looks good. Nice, he got it. So now you're gonna see him, travel out of bounds, and he needs to grab this moon. And actually, grabbing this moon out of bound, it might look simple, but it's
Terribly
really
punishing.
easy. It's really easy to grab the moon and clip in. And if you clip in, it's basically a soft lock. You are trapped in that room, that tiny room, and you have to. Well, in a run, you would reset.
Yeah.
In this case, you have to teleport
You
out.
need to warp out. That's like terrible.
So it seems like Nitro and Chaos also got it.
3 out of 3 so far. Pretty big stuff.
Nice, very nice. So Curves is on you, man. No pressure.
And yeah, also if you look at the crowd, it's also crazy fun actually to play. You run up this ramp, you jump around, you fly through the stage. And I mean, I really don't want Curbs to miss it, but it would be interesting to show you guys the alternative route. But if you watch an old one, you'll see how broken. I think he got it.
I think he got it. So we can tell he got it because of Mario's shadow in the wall. It looks in a very specific way when you get the clip. Let's see if he gets the moon out of bounds. I personally think that's the hardest part. I mean, you can take it slow,
Yeah,
obviously,
it's
but
hard spot.
you want to go fast. Like I said, it looks easy. Actually grabbing the moon properly out of bounds, it's not easy at all.
It's also by far the most punishing part because this kingdom has a very specific area of the game which is called the Deep Woods, and you can only access it by falling down. And this is one of the places where you could fall out of bounds and get there. And when you are there, you can't warp out. You're really stuck. You need to get like a seed and plant it, and there's like an animation, an additional load. It's actually terrible. That's like a reset in every case in a run, and obviously terrible in a race.
All right. So I think we're through the hard part. Stravos playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, it's actually
great. He's I want to say like 10 seconds ahead, maybe the rest. Pretty sick stuff by him.
Yeah.
Ooh, he missed the triple jump.
Trying to go for a very specific optimization. You're probably going to see the other runners just do a long jump there.
Yeah.
But Stravos, as we said, he's doing the crazy stuff. He's doing like a roll and specific jump.
So that long jump, that big skip you saw is flower road skip. Usually you have to press a button and there's a trail that spawns and you walk through the trail flowers and you get to the other platform, but we don't do that. That's too slow. So you see the runners do a ground pound roll cancel into a triple jump off the fence. It's a pretty cool looking movement, I would say. It's actually not that hard, surprisingly. It's something that even mid-level runners go for.
It also doesn't even save that much time, but it looks so cool that most of the people that play this game actually want to learn it. You can see it done right there with little curves again. And what we do right there, we abuse that instant roll speed we get from a ground pound, and then throw Cappy in a specific way with a specific input that we can keep that speed as we are walking with Mario. Also, by the way, that's another thing I need to point it out immediately. Stravos, the only one probably again going for the most recent wooded optimization. If you play that well, you can save another 4 seconds. This guy is amazing. He's really amazing to watch. He doesn't mess around, and he gets that. Look at this. Like
so
that's
clean.
Just a super new discovery. This can save up to 4 seconds, and he nails that perfectly so far. If he doesn't take damage in this sewer section, he's going to be saving another like 4 seconds over those other runners.
Yeah. So pipe waves, the section he's doing right now, it was included in the old route, and we, when the new one got found, we removed it. But now with this new change, it's back into the route, which is really cool. It's a really cool room. When it's done fast like that, it looks really cool. Oh, Curve's actually going for the new route too.
So Stravos might have he probably just golded that again, by the way. I'm not even kidding. I didn't see a single mistake. I do want to point out that that Nicro and Chaos Nitro and Chaos actually both were pretty short on coins, so the boss fight provides you coins. We're going to get to the coins part later. There's going to be another moon that we are buying, so they were kind of forced to do the slower route, but it's once again visible so much how much time you can save on those. Like Stravos is like 15 seconds ahead now, I think.
Yeah, really impressive stuff by him. So Curves also went for the new route, so good for him.
Apparently Stravos failed ramp once. I didn't see.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. So Curves a little bit struggled a bit, you know, with the new route, but it's fine. He got it. He's out of wooded. You know, being out of wooded is a nice feeling. You know, you finally get there, you get the clip, you can do the new route, and your route is it's a big relief for sure for runners. And you know, Cloud is you can take a breather in Cloud. Just you know, you gotta punch Bowser in the face. Uh,
There's not much going on. There's some small manipulation strats. They don't save much time. The only big thing is that you can capture those heads pretty quick, as we saw right there from Stravos. That's not the casual strat that people do.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to point out, just to give you guys perspective, the split for Stravos' Wooded time was an 1850 right there, which is easily world record pace. Like not this can world record for sure.
Yeah.
Like in this race.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive stuff. So yeah, Bowser in Cloud and in Moon, you fight him again. Spoiler alert. We do the fast try. You know, we grab the hat as soon as he throws it. You know, usually you want to stand on the middle, on the center of the platform, wait for him to throw the hat. You throw Cappy at it. You know, it's really slow. We don't like it, so we just run at him and take the hats, and then we punch him and then we punch him in the face. Punch him in the face.
In the face, exactly.
Yes.
Coming up on Stravos is another big race killer. This kingdom is pretty short and looks very cool. It's super fun to run, but
my favorite.
It has the poison thingy going. There's like lava and stuff where you take 1 health of damage, but if you fall into this stuff, you will die. And
yeah, so
I mean, you can explain the other big thing here. There's even more.
Yeah, so Lost Kingdom, the special thing about this is, you know, Klepto's back. He's in Lost Kingdom, and you know there's a big trigger around the level that if you step on it, you know it triggers a cutscene, and Klepto steals Cappy, and you have to go kill him to get Cappy back. But you know, runners, we do a route where we jump with that tree, the meme tree as we call it. It's, you know, back in the day it was a run killer. I think nowadays, you know, that jump is not very scary anymore. But yeah, basically we go around the trigger and then we actually reach Klepto from behind, and that makes it so the cutscene never triggers. Right? That's a really big
right here.
Yeah.
Stravos just rolls up to him, and now his trigger is kind of deactivated. He's in a fighting state, so he can reach the lower parts of the kingdom where the trigger zone would actually take place in. And that's like you can mess up stuff here in a race, and if you activate him, that's going to result in like a 30 to 40 second time loss. There's no recovery. You are going to be losing your head, and really big thing for race. But Stravos, once again, I haven't seen a single mistake. This guy's completely crushing it so far.
Yeah, as you can see, you know, Lost Kingdom very fast paced. You know, all the moves are really fast. I mean, I would like to explain, you know, the strats behind the moves, but it goes so fast, it's really hard to do it in a race. It's really technical stuff, and, you know, basically all the moves can kill you in this kingdom.
Like, literally, for all of those moves, you could put in an hour of practice to make them optimal, like, even more, especially the last one that Nicro is about to get there. This is an incredibly hard trick. It's incredibly hard. It's like, most of the top 20 are, like, sketchy about this trick.
Right, so Chaos went for the, you know, the not dying strat after under the bridge, and he missed. Nigro got it, nice.
Which actually dying there isn't that bad because you get ported back to the Odyssey, but if you try to save it, that's when you start losing time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you know, not dying saves like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, but if you try to not die and you die anyways, it's like a 4-second time loss, I want to say.
By the way, you better also don't sleep on Chaos. I mean, Stravos is performing amazingly, but Chaos is still. He's showing his usual self. He's playing consistent. He's maybe having some minor issues because, I mean, nerves play a role. But
For sure. Like we said, he's the most consistent player of the top 10, for sure. Maybe Suicide is also on that level. You know, Suicide is also a rockstar.
If he gets the nut clip,
yeah. So Metro, one of the longest kingdoms, one of the longest splits in the run. Isn't it the longest? Might be.
I think Bowser's is technically longer, even theoretical, because there's a lot of cutscenes. But this kingdom has the most amount of gameplay for sure. For
sure, yeah. So it's split in 2 parts. You know, Night Metro, you have to fight Mecha Wiggler. Mecha Wiggler, you know, these days I think we pretty much have it figured out. It's a boss where you have to shoot with the tank, and it is random, but it's not really random. You know, there are patterns, and if you study the boss enough, you can recognize the patterns. You know. Basically, you have the advantage because you know where the boss is gonna go.
So even though it is probably one of the very little instances of RNG in this run, I feel like it's still your fault if you actually get a 3 cycle. Like you really have to mess something up. And
Yeah,
Stravos is struggling a bit there.
there's instances where the boss, you know, crawls in itself and it's really hard because the hitboxes are kind of clunky, but most of the time it's fine. So Night Metro, you know, is actually really cool. I really like the movement in Night Metro, but nowadays it's pretty simple stuff for these runners of this caliber. I want to say,
Yeah.
you hardly see them, you know, make mistakes in this split.
When you start up running this is going to be your nightmare.
Yeah, for sure. You know, this jump Nitro just did, you know, basically a leap of faith. You know, the camera doesn't help you at all. It's actually pretty tricky. So we see Stravos. Yeah, Stravos is doing Wiggler now. Struggle a bit on the first phase, but it's fine. Nothing big. And actually, Chaos is right behind him.
I was about to say it, and this is why Chaos is a super scary race opponent, because he's gonna immediately capitalize on every small mistake, because he's gonna keep playing up to his consistency level.
Yeah, for sure. Nicro also finishes the first phase, so here we're gonna see the second phase. You wanna get a 2 cycle basically. That's the goal. 3 cycle is like a 30-second time loss probably.
I think the game doesn't really want you to get a 2 cycle. Like it wants you to fight the Wiggler more, but I mean, not let the game decide. Like that actually was a very clean,
really clean
cycle.
Really clean by Stravos. Let's see if Chaos can do the same. That should be good. Nicely done. Nicro's turn.
So Stravos definitely taking a bigger hit here in Night Metro, as his City Hall claim was kind of sketchy. But yeah, still a very, very close race.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but there, you know, when Nicro was hitting the Wiggler, at some point, you know, the boss calls in itself and it goes like on top of him, and you know, you shoot and sometimes it doesn't register, and that's what happened to Nicro.
And this is actually the one thing that can kind of really screw you over if the Wiggler gets like super glitchy, but it's very rare.
I really like this pattern that Curve's got. It's really easy to protect.
He's gonna be wriggling around a little. He's gonna get there.
He missed the shot, but it was clean. All right, so Day Metro. Day Metro.
It's just light outside.
Yep. Yeah, we killed the boss. We got our light back, and we're gonna see now one of, I don't know if it's a big trick, but it's definitely a cool looking trick. It's a good clip. You know, you lean with the scoot and grab the moon that you're supposed to use the RC card to grab that moon. But
I mean, we might be seeing why it can be yeah, the RC card is way slower. We might be seeing why it can be a big trick. So far, both of those runners have been getting amazing scooters, but if you miss them and struggle to get a fast backup, that can be super punishing. I think actually Nitro lost one of his 20 races recently, like serious, because he lost like 20 seconds there.
Yeah.
Well, he actually didn't lose the race, but he could have world recorded if that didn't happen. So it's big.
Yeah, so if you miss it, you know, you can buck it up, and also you can also do like a safe strat where you bonk against the cage and you take it really slow. But you know, these runners at this point they're really good at it, so they just go for the drive-by strat. That is the fastest.
Like I'd go as far as if any one of those runners had like a god run, all of them could take world records. This game is not on the level where one of is like above everyone else, at least not right now. So those are amazing runners. They go for as much as they can.
Yeah, really clean Metro so far by all of them. Day Metro anyways.
So far, all of them taking another recent optimization where you get those musicians kind of early. They used to be the last thing you get in the route. Not anymore. I mean, I don't think Curbs is going to use the old route. I don't see any sense in that. But yeah, that's a small optimization that actually allows us to warp out of a sub room at the end to skip a load.
Yeah. Yeah, this new one probably saves between 1 and 2 seconds. It's a small thing. It's just a change of orders in the moons. Nothing big. But there is another route that is available. You want to talk about that?
I mean, we have been pretty extensively already checking out the game on a theoretical, like what would be the humanly fastest way we could beat this game in terms of like a sheet, and we have been able to actually get this entire thing under 1 hour, which is like the huge barrier we have been talking about so much. And that segmented run uses an even faster metro route, which is, it would probably save around 2.3 seconds over this one, but it's absurdly hard. So to get that time save, I mean, it won't happen at the moment. Like nobody is good enough to probably consistently get time save with it.
Yeah. it's definitely really hard. Um, so yeah, Metro these days, you know, I think again for runners of this level, it looks pretty trivial. But you know, all these moons, especially in this section, if you make a mistake, you fall down. It's a really big time loss.
Definitely.
You usually don't see these you know, runners of this level to make mistakes in these kind of moons. They're pretty much engraved in their muscle memory at this point. But it can still happen, you know.
Yeah. And there's, once again, there's like super small optimizations on all of those moves you've seen. For example, Stravos did like one of those buffered spin pounds there on top of the building, whereas Nyko just did the cap dares, which they are slower but easier. You gotta know what you wanna go for. Like, if you feel like you can do the fastest strat in the race, do it. But you gotta get it, and Stravos got most of them so far. That's why he's ahead.
Yeah, this game is interesting because I would say as an entry level, it's a pretty simple game. It's pretty accessible. But there's so many options in the game where, you know, it's really good when you start because you have a lot of options. A lot of them are easy and fast, actually. And so it's really good to start. But then as you get better at the game, it's pretty crazy what these guys go for. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna see them go for really hard stuff just to save half a second. And this game is 8 months old, you know, it's or 9. It's pretty crazy stuff, you know, the level of optimization that 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 we have right now. Also, this race is super close right now.
This is
It's
super
crazy close.
I mean, Curbs is hanging a bit behind, but actually the next kingdom is like, I am okay, and we have to maybe talk about coins. Runners do need 100 coins going into the next kingdom because they actually need to buy a moon, and the moon is 100 coins. I think all of them have enough to go to snow. Actually, yeah, okay, Chaos went to snow.
Well, they went to snow. I don't know if they have the coins, but they went
That's
to snow.
true. I mean, I think they paid attention. I know Chaos and Nitro paid attention on their coin count, but someone just said in chat, next kingdom is the breaking point, and everything can change on the last jump in this kingdom. If you watched any GDQ, Nitro actually did that jump at the start, which is slower but safer because you are not forced technically to do it again. If you do the jump at the end, you have to be doing it until you make it, and you can miss it for like 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, those guys might not fit it as much, but it's big.
All right, so Chaos and Nitro are like 10 seconds behind Stravos, basically. So it's really close right now. Really close. Snow Kingdom, you know, they're gonna go to Shiveria. This is the town inside Snow. This kingdom is actually, I wouldn't say it's one of the hardest, but it's really easy to bonk in this kingdom. Bonks in Odyssey can be pretty punishing because you know the bonk itself, the animation is like 2 seconds, but you know you lose all your speed. If you're in the air, you have to, you know, you fall down.
Chaos actually needs to be very careful. I think he knows about the coin backup box that is pretty closely located to this place because he's at 39.
Oh, I don't know if he knows. He's missing 4 coins.
Is there 4 coins in the sub rooms? I'm not sure.
There are.
Okay, he needs to pick them up. For anyone, once again, you need 100 coins in this kingdom to buy 1 moon. You can buy 1 moon per kingdom, and it just happens to be that this moon, even though it's slow, it's a race, it's a shop, it has loading zones, but it's still one of the moons that is fast enough to be in the route.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with Snow is that there is like all of them are sub areas that have loading. And you know, they're all really slow because you have to go through basically 2 loading zones. You have to get in and then get out. Let's see if he grabs. He needs 3 coins. He needs to grab those 3 coins. Oh, he
got there.
Wow, what a god. 100
exactly
coins on
100.
the dot. Calculated.
This is the guy that goes to the grocery store and it's like, hey, you gotta pay 88 cents, and he only picks up like 1 cent pieces. But hey, he got there. He's gonna be able to pay for the moon. That's what I want to see.
So yeah, Blowy J Room, we're seeing Curves doing it now. It's a pretty cool strat. You know, you need to reach the cycle of the platform, and then you use the moving platform to gain speed. He actually kind of screwed up a bit, but it's fine. He got it. Nicely done.
So yeah, this is another like super small instance of RNG. Enemies, like the position of the enemies, is actually RNG, and it can result in a little time save / loss. Actually, Curb's trying to go for the optimal strat there in the Blowy J Room, where you keep 1 spiny alive for camera reasons. Losing a little time there though.
Yeah, so this is the Goomba room triple jump. Pretty cool stuff. back in the day, this side of movement was, really impressive. Nowadays, it's pretty common, but it's definitely, I think it's one of my favorite jumps in the RAM. I don't know why. I just really like it.
Yeah. And I really like that comment in the chat right there. Strav is actually saving milliseconds each move, and that's the player Strav is. Like, he will risk losing 2 seconds to save 0.3.
Yeah. He's definitely the runner with the most attention to detail, I want to say.
Yeah.
He definitely, studies the movement, and definitely, tries to save time in every corner, for sure. And it's that's the level of we're at right now. That like we need to start
Surely.
doing that.
On the other side, we have Nick and Chaos being incredibly consistent for most of the time. But we will see, guys. Snowdram. Actually, it doesn't have anything to do with the player Dram. It's a very specific, precise movement trick. And Strav, not messing around.
So this is, I want to say, the hardest jump in the game. I think we can say that.
In terms of jumping, yeah, for sure.
Chaos, nice.
Wow.
We have a race.
Nick about to do it right here. We really want to see him get that here. Because if you fall, you actually lose 20 seconds. This is looking a bit close. Wow. Man. Still got it, dude. That's amazing. All of them getting nut clips so far, getting Snowdram. Let's see if Curbs can do it.
We have a race.
So the thing is, you're actually not supposed to get there. This is a painting platform that you should be taking like when the game is done, like after you beat the game. And so just to give you perspective, like people trying that for the first time might take like 200 attempts before they get it once. Like a casual player could probably not do it until you like teach him the game for a couple of days.
I think that the deal breaker is that we started using the first person camera to line up Cappy and get the perfect angle. That was a strat by shading. I think that was the moment where we said, okay, we can actually make this jump consistent. And it didn't take long for top runners to start using it in runs.
Yeah, because it actually does save 10 seconds if you get it right.
Okay, so Stravos just made a lot of mistakes. Chaos definitely got trapped. They're like seconds apart.
Wow, I looked away for 1 second, and that's Super Mario Odyssey though. Like bongs, missing inputs, missing a jump. Specifically, this first jump in C-side can be so punishing.
And in C-side of all places, we call it Straviside. He's basically the best C-side runner. I think all the strats are his basically. He has the best goal for C-side. I think it's a 327, which is crazy. So yeah, surprising to see him make mistakes in this kingdom.
Yeah, and so actually, I think a lot of people obviously at some point started copying from him. I mean, it makes sense. He was like above everyone else, and I want to talk about one strat specifically. It's kind of close to my heart, as I am like one of the people that actually came up with this quote unquote. Unfortunately, Strav was missing. Like, was not even going for it, and wow.
Oh,
Strav actually needs to back it up that way, which is obviously a huge deal.
So yeah, this trick is. He's going for it again. This trick is called flow rocket storage. You can, if you do a spin throw or an up throw right before grabbing the moon, or a ground pound, you can refresh. The rocket flower, and instead of using the Gushin like you saw Chaos and Nicro doing it now, you can keep using the flower because it refreshes and just go to the fish, chip.
And you kind of were still able to see how fast it is because it looked like Chaos would be way further ahead. It is fast if you get it. So on a theoretical level, it would only save like 0.7, 0.5 to 0.7, but most of the people are not good enough at all to capture this Gushin type of thing. So you would probably lose more.
Yeah.
I save more doing that, but obviously missing it is big.
Yeah, and there's two types of strats. You can go for the really risky one where you wanna start the spin throw like 1 or 2 frames right before you touch the moon, and if you do that, you don't have to do the ground pound, and that actually saves a lot of time. But that's not really RTA viable, at least not right now. We don't really have a setup for it.
We have like no frame data or anything at the moment, which would really help there. But yeah, you would see it obviously in the theoretical video, but other than that, not really used. Sometimes people get it unintentionally. But yeah, Strav is actually taking in Stravi's side some big hits, and Nicro and Chaos actually both surpassing.
Yep, Stravos was first, now he's third. Chaos leading now. And we're pretty much done with Seaside again. Really short kingdom, and we're reaching Lanchon, which is I don't know if it's the hardest. I think Wooded is the hardest kingdom again with the new route.
Oh, yeah.
But Lanchon is definitely up there. Lanchon, very long kingdom, heavy on movement, really optimized movement, and mistakes in Lanchon can be very punishing.
And so Luncheon kind of has the FMS treatment going, because not only does it have specific jumps, specific weird angles, dude, it has everything. It has like a clip redo, another type of clip, but also the geometry of the kingdom, like the kingdom itself, is built very strange. It has like this polygon look, which it does look cool, but it can be very weird in terms of how Mario behaves on it.
Yeah. So the first jump at Lanchon is already a pretty tough one.
Yeah.
It's the salt triple jump is what we call it. There's a small salt mountain that we use to do a triple jump that gives us enough height to make it. You're not supposed to grab this moon this early on the kingdom. You're supposed to do other stuff and then you come back to it.
Yeah.
But
actually, Stravos going for another option to do that, which is way safer. He might not be as comfortable with it at the moment. Maybe shaking, maybe nerves. I don't know. But that's not losing much. I think it's lose like 0.5, and it's way easier. It's a strategy I would recommend for beginners.
For sure.
I mean, beginners wouldn't get that moon at all, but.
So we're gonna fight Spearhead again. Same boss in Wooded, same strats. Nothing really changed. Ooh, Stravos. Damn, Stravos started so good, and now he's struggling. I hope he's not nervous.
I kind of feel like it. Like, he was playing completely out of his mind. Pretty sure his hand was a gold, but once you start making mistakes, you can get very shaky, obviously. And now they're. I mean, they're still super close. Chaos, looking at it right now, maybe being 6 seconds ahead of Nicro, and potentially 15 ahead of Strav. And Kirk's still lagging behind, but this is not over at all. Like, anything can change.
Yeah, and I mean, it was similar on the previous 4-way. Stravos was leading, and he actually lost the race at MechaVoodle in Bowser's. I don't know if it was nerves or what happened. He said he had sweaty hands, so hopefully, he has a napkin this time or a towel.
Dude, Cheese said it to him. I watched the interview. You guys, if you speedrun, you wanna have the towel with you, because it can mess with you, especially in a setting like this. This is new stuff. I mean, Nicro might be used to stream in front of very big audiences because he has been having like 1,000 viewers. But being in a community, being in an area like this, you might get nervous.
So Lanchon, as you can see, really cool movement. I really like this kingdom for the speedrun.
Yeah.
We use the geometry to our advantage. We jump in places where you wouldn't think you would be jumping. Really fast stuff. It's just really cool to see.
Also,
Here's
probably has one of the coolest sub rooms with music. We're gonna get there soon.
Yeah. So yeah, not really much to say. It's just really optimized movement, cool looking and fast. That's what we like. So I was struggling a bit. He's definitely on a slump right now.
By the way, shoutouts to ChaosPringle. That's just so cool. It maybe it saves like 0.1 if even, but if you bonk against the pot there, you get a lower. Actually, Stravos doing it too, and that's actually super small. And he actually missed it. I think he bonked at the slightly. The spot was a bit too much to the left. But if you bonk there, you will be very low to actually make the backflip after.
Yep. So we're reaching Forks room. Forks room. I don't know if it's a deadly. You wouldn't expect someone to reset on Forks, but you can die. You can die in this room if you screw it up for sure. And the music is amazing, like you said.
Especially the way they do it. Actually, that was pretty close there on Nick's part. The way they do it, they dive towards the next capture. Nick actually taking the lead here. Yeah. They dive towards the next capture to make the animation of Mario like zooming towards the next fork shorter. And if you make a mistake, you just dive into the abyss.
So yeah, Chaos bonking there on the moon, and that's a good example of when a bonk is not necessarily 2 seconds. He lost way more than 2 seconds because of that bonk.
Because he fell down all the way.
Exactly.
I mean, not all the way, but.
So we reached Turning Clip. Turning Clip, my favorite trick in the game by far. When this trick got found, I was so happy. So what we do is, we grab the turnip from this cliff, we take it with us down, and our objective is to grab the moon inside that cage. And what we're gonna do is we grab a Koopa and we put it in a specific way between the turnip and the cage, and we clip through it. It's beautiful.
Shoutouts to Minyash in the chat. We love you, boy. because he was heavily involved. I think kind of like 50-50 percent. I think he mostly actually in finding this. And as Tisha said, the cheese, like going through the cheese, the intended way of the game is incredibly annoying. Like aiming with those pan bros is meh. You don't want to do it.
You know, Nicro, Chaos, and Stravos got it. Really nice tournament clip. Really good stuff. I wanted to say that, you know, nowadays it looks, you know, nowadays you don't see top runners missing it, but you know, there's a lot of time put into that trick, and there's also like a manipulation going on with the spawn of the Koopa. So by the time you get to the cage, the Koopa is close to you, and that manipulation starts all the way from the forks room. So it's really cool stuff.
So Nick actually kind of out of the shadows. I mean, it's not out of the shadows. It's just that Stravos was playing so exceptionally well that I mean, obviously you can't sleep on Nick. He's literally the best player in the world at the moment.
Yep.
And showing it here, especially in this kingdom. Like Nick always used to be the luncheon god. Like I remember one of his PBs. He only lost like 2 seconds comparing to the, at that point, best theoretical time for this kingdom.
No, definitely. I think nowadays Stravos probably has this title, even though Stravos is way more inconsistent than Nick. Stravos definitely, you know, is pushing the game. I think he's the guy that's pushing the game the most. Like we said, you know, he really optimizes every move. So I think he has the best luncheon goal, I'm pretty sure.
There will be moments where people will be saying, "Oh wow, actually doing the optimizations cost him there. He went too far. He went too ham." I mean, we've seen it at some point. This mindset, if you actually stick with it, it will pay off. And if Stravos like gets the run he had right there and keeps it going, suddenly, boom, he gets world record out of nowhere. I mean, not out of Norway, but. Those people...
It's basically playing the long game, right? You know, a lot of runners, me included. You know, I like, you know, include, you know, one strat at a time. You know, I get a PB, I practice a new strat. You know, I include it. I make sure I'm confident with it. But you know, other people just like to go for everything. You know, they like to practice everything and make sure they're able to do everything. You know, like you said, one day, you know, one day it could happen. You get everything in a run and suddenly, you know, you destroy the world record.
Sure.
So Luncheon Dawn, we got to Ruin. Ruin is basically the out-of-Florida of this game. So I think we should use this time for something more insightful. We wanted to talk a bit about what's going on right now with the community. So we talked about versions earlier. You know, 1.0 is the desired version to speedrun the game, the fastest version because it allows you to do FMS in Cascade. The only way to get 1.0 is with a physical copy. You need to get a physical copy that's 1.0, and then you need to factory reset the switch to downgrade your game, which is pretty annoying, right? There's a lot of people that, you know, you don't want to lose your saves and all that stuff.
Because you lose your data, which is like... And I really want to continue with this because it's the big topic right now, but I want to look at Little Curb's screen for 1 second because he has been finding like a crazy opening move. I don't know if he's going to go for it. Oh, he gets it actually. That's super cool.
Yeah. It can be a bit faster. It can be a bit faster.
It can be faster, but that's something I've been seeing on his Twitter recently, and it's super cool. But versions are way bigger at the moment, and as Tisha said, the major tricks that save a lot of time, they are not free. You can lose time on them, but they are only version 1.0 exclusive. And right now, until now, the only possibility to get them was actually through a physical copy and reset to Switch.
Right. So the thing with the physical copies is that it has slower loads, right? So that's the thing going for it. You know, and nowadays there's actually homebrew being developed for the Switch, and there's a big discussion in the community because actually with homebrew you could access to 1.0 with the digital version. You know, it's a very big discussion in the community. If we should allow homebrew to access 1.0. You know, in one hand, it gives more accessibility because you don't need to buy the physical copy. You don't have to reset your Switch to get 1.0. On the other hand, you know, people don't really like, you know, hacking the Switch using homebrew to get the fastest version. They feel it's dirty. They feel it's not fair. And you know, definitely fair points on both sides. And you know, right now we're in the process of actually, you know, timing the loads. We're basically timing a lot of runs. We really want to make sure, you know, we have the data and actually see, you know, the difference in loads, and you know, just have the information to make the best decision regarding this issue. So we'll see what happens. We're basically in the middle of it, like literally. Really big discussion going on.
It's gonna need to be decided definitely. So the big thing obviously is it would allow people that don't want to lose all of their data for the other Nintendo games, like you don't want to lose your Splatoon data, you don't want to lose your whatever data. That would obviously be huge for them and very nice. So they would still be able to get all of the tricks in the speedrun. But yeah, big controversial topic will be updated. We will be talking a lot about it. There will be major testing to be done. Or maybe Nintendo's just nice and releases version 1.3 and suddenly all tricks are back in the game. But let's not dream too much.
Yeah, let's continue with the race. Bowser Kingdom, it's a pretty long kingdom, but you know, there's a lot of cutscenes, so there's not really that much movement going on. By the way, Chaos is 12 seconds behind Nitro right now. And yeah, and Stravos is like 20 seconds behind Nitro. So, you know, Bowser's Kingdom, it's a pretty punishing kingdom if you miss it, especially Shards, the moon you're gonna see next after this ogre. You know, you can easily die if you screw up. But I think, you know, for sure, you know, the run killer part of this kingdom is the boss fight at the end, the Mecha Brutal. If you catch the previous 4-way race that we had last week, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. You know, actually, you know, you saw a lot of the runners actually had a really bad time in Mecha Brutal. It can kill your run really fast.
And on that note, I really want to point out how much Stravos actually catched up again. Like after having that weird luncheon that didn't look too hot, now suddenly he's almost like tied with Chaos again.
How does he do it? How does he do it?
Yeah, he does the little things, dude. But yeah, Shards also being, by the way, it's pretty much the boss fight and Shards section, which Nitro is attempting right now. Already failed the first very hard, actually.
Yeah, Nitro went for the fastest strat, which is throwing Cappy at the shot and diving back. It's actually really hard to do that. He missed it, and then he just did a pretty safe backup. But that's gonna give Chaos the chance to cut up a bit.
Nitro also not doing, and he might not even be aware of this, as I see this right there, but there's actually a pretty big cameraman right there. I have no idea why it works, but we did time it. We probably will see Chaos do it. If you position the camera like Chaos did there, you are actually saving around like 0.5 seconds. I don't know why it works.
So the reason is, you know, there's cutscenes in the game that have a camera transition right before it. And the camera transition basically just moves the camera from where it is to another angle. So if you already, you know, position the camera in the right angle, the camera transition is faster. That's where the time save comes from. And that's basically the same thing that we do in Cap. The thing is, in Cap we do it with the first person camera. It looks like instant. In this case, we have to use, you know, the camera angle to manipulate it.
Wow, Chaos going for the shade and dram. Another instance of the drum, so I think he got it second try there. Yeah, very cool looking trick too.
Again, the drum is basically, you know, you leave Cappy behind to capture something, you grab a moon, and then you shake the controller to make Cappy capture. And it looks like Mario teleports. Really cool stuff.
So I mean, the main reason it's called drum set, I mean, it kind of turned into a meme, but that's like the spirit of that first initial drum set where you hold Cappy and then home to a capture is still like in those tricks, so that's why.
Yeah. So these two boss fights, it doesn't matter the order you do them. Chaos goes for Topper first. Most runners go for Harriet first.
Just because it feels like the camera kind of puts you better there. I guess literally no reason to decide. I mean, you could argue as a beginner there's like a checkpoint and you could refresh your health. But yeah, not really. Like it's up to you basically, up to personal preference.
Exactly. So, you know, these boss fights, you know, they're not really hard, but, you know, they can actually be quite punishing if you make a mistake, especially Topper. Especially Topper, if you make, you know, if you get hit in the Topper fight, you can lose like 15 seconds.
Yeah, his casual, quote-unquote casual phase can take way too long.
Yeah, because all the hats just start running around and you have to find the right one, and it's pretty hard. Can be pretty hard anyways.
Wait, is Nitro actually that far ahead? Oh no, I still got confused by Chaos one more time. Dude, this guy's confused because we are used to see Harriet first, like pretty much always. But
no, the race is really close right now.
The race is really close. Between those two, like Mech can literally change the pace completely. Like Nitro could be last, or Stravos could be last, or everything can happen on that boss.
Yeah, if falling off Mech is, I want to say at least 30 seconds, at least. Has to be.
It depends on the phase too. Like if you miss the climb at the start and then you get nervous and then you fall down, like you can lose so much time in that boss.
So Nitro doing Box's moon, pretty scary moon. You know, the camera lags behind a bit, so you need to like kind of go for it. And the moon after it is also pretty tricky because the camera doesn't move. You have to go with a fixed camera after leaving the pipe. Also a big leap of faith.
Right there.
Nice.
It's you can easily die there. Like we've seen a lot of people die in good runs there.
Yeah.
Camera makes
So
it really hard.
So we're reaching Mecca. We're reaching the next big point of resets. I don't know. I mean, top runners nowadays, I don't really see them missing it that much. Like people are actually really good at Mega Brutal. You know, in the race with the nerves, it can happen.
Thing. Because that's pretty much the reoccurring thing with all of the bosses. Like no of the bosses we fight in a casual way if we aren't forced to it. And here we are not forced to do the casual way, which is like using a bird. Instead, we just completely obliterate the thing using some insanely fast jumps and ground pounds. It's actually quite insane. Like if you've never seen the fight doing it this way, you're probably like jaw dropping right now. It's pretty crazy stuff. You know, we use the leg to climb, and then we kill the bunnies really fast while being basically in the air. And you know, there's like a mechanic in the fight where the boss throws you back, so you don't stay on top of it, but you can just dive right back into it and save a lot of time that way. So
and,
the only small strat that has been pretty much changed about this is the order you can kill those bubbles in. Nicro did the most, actually super clean make by the way, but he did the most common way. Stravos and Chaos do the same, and I think Little Cups might do the official fastest way of doing it. We might see it on the screen. Yep.
So basically, the fastest way is instead of leaving Harriet for last, the one at the top, you actually kill it third. And then you go for one of the bunnies on the side. It's really precise, really tight, but it can save a lot of time. Actually, I'm not sure on the numbers, so I don't want to throw it out. But it actually saves quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 seconds, which is a lot in this fight though alone.
Yeah.
And Stravos struggling a bit there with his last hit. It seems like this is. I mean, the camera map strat doesn't do anything, but I know Curbs does this when he's going for Harriet third for no reason. But I think he's setting it up right there. So he's gonna try to backflip ground pound on Harriet. It's gonna happen pretty fast if he lands it. And then as he gets back on top of the mech on the next throwback, he's gonna try to line himself up to hit on Spewart, and he gets it. Nice. That's so hard. Actually.
What a beast. That's actually so hard. What a beast. So yeah, both Chaos and Stravos struggled a bit in the fight, and Nicro got a really clean one. So this is putting him even further ahead.
So I do, like, as we have a little downtime right here, I do want to remind you guys about the raffle that we have going on right here. Entry fee would be a $25 donation or 2,500 bits, but you would be entering into the raffle right there. You see it on the left bottom of the screen. We are having Beast Coast GG stuff. We are having I think a signed copy of SM64 and like a Nintendo 64 cheese signed edition official stuff that I would personally like to have, but yeah, should hop into this one. And you're also obviously supporting this amazing channel, which has been going ham, dude.
Yeah, so much really cool stuff. So I just want to mention, Nicro is on low 102 pace right now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pretty ridiculous stuff for a race. And, you know, Chaos and Stravos are right behind. So, you know, if Nicro makes a mistake, anything can happen, especially in the Bowser fight. You know, Moon, not really a hard kingdom. You know, the movement here at the beginning that we're seeing can be a bit tricky. They're using a technique called vectoring. You know, vectoring is basically you angle yourself in the air diagonally and you gain speed that way. We don't really know why. It's basically a bug in the physics engine, I want to say. But yeah, we actually used it quite a bit in the run, but this is, you know, the most notable one in Moon.
I think it's intentionally like used to give some more air control to Mario. Like it's easier to control it. We're in the air. But yeah, we abuse it basically. And even though, I mean, by the way, it's just happening. This trick actually was like found day one, and it's literally the biggest skip in the entire game. It's literally saves 5 minutes. You don't even do the last final level, the final casual level. It's just skipped. It almost feels like Nintendo put this there intentionally, or like in a debug mode to never removed it, because it just seems too perfect to be true somehow.
Yeah, so this Moon Cave skip, it actually is pretty precise, but it's not hard at all. Like if you know what you're doing, you know where to aim. It's actually pretty easy. You know, even beginner level runners should do this trick.
That's a trick you should probably learn before your first run, basically.
Even if you miss it a bunch of times, you're still saving a lot of time, right? So Bowser fight again, basically the same as Cloud. nothing much changed. You just gotta hit him a bit more.
And he has like a
About it.
useless fire phase in it, which is actually completely useless. You can like style on him there. I do want to point out, even though Nitro is looking at a very comfortable lead, losing a phase right here can already make him be behind. Like he could literally be behind if he misses his second phase, and he has been struggling with the second phase recently. So I hope he gets it.
That's true.
Gets
he got it. Nice. So yeah, I think if you miss the hat, it's like 10 seconds every time. Probably you miss it.
10 to 12.
So if he wraps up this fight properly, you know, the only thing that could make him lose the race is 2D skip, I think.
And 2D skip also kind of super notorious, as it was found pretty early. I remember when Showdown used to go for it, was like, what? He's actually doing 2D skip because it saves 2 seconds, which is like 1.5 to 2, which doesn't even seem that much these days. Actually, 2 seconds is massive. If you think about you only need to do 2 jumps, like if we just found that now, that would be huge. But if you fade it, you literally die, and you have to start the entire escape again, and you lose 40 seconds. So no matter if Chaos, Nick, or Strav would miss that trick, they would be. I don't know if they would be last. They might be last, like just straight up.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Such a huge punish.
For sure. And you know, missing to the skip is heartbreaking. I know it firsthand.
I know, bro. Happens to the best of them.
Feels bad, man.
Literally everyone at some point has to experience it, and it hurts so much. It's literally like the last hard thing. It's not even hard. It's just nerves can kill it, and the way you jump, like the upper box can like really mess with you, like visually. I don't expect anyone to miss it here, but it can happen.
It could happen. We'll see. We're reaching to that point. Nicro is about to reach the section. Let's see. Complete silence for Juicy.
Looks good though.
It looks so tight. It looks so tight. It's actually not that tight. It's actually pretty easy, but it definitely looks. I mean, it is risky, but it's not a hard trick.
It's kind of
again.
Like on Chaos' screen, we will see it pretty much. His feet is what really makes it weird, because his feet is actually like his head makes it look like you already passed the block, but your feet are like way behind, so you can bonk there. But right now, all of these runners make it look easy. Obviously, it's very rarely missed these days. But
nice, nicely done. So we're reaching the final room, the pillars room. You know, the final I guess strat in this room is destroying the first pillar with 5 fireballs right away. That's what we call early pillar. That can save up to 4 seconds. Nitro, I think you got it.
Yeah, it looked like it. His pillar room is actually always it's one of the best, considered one of the best. And literally there's only one thing that could kind of like cheese him there at the end. There's like an invisible wall. It's not a soft lock, it's super weird. It happens like not at all. But if that doesn't happen, and I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, he actually didn't. You see, he has to go back for the first pillar and do a bunch of fireballs. So ideally you don't do that, you save that, right? So Nitro wrapping it up. It's actually an insane run. It's gonna be a really low 1 or 2. Really sick stuff.
I don't know what Curb's PB is right now. I think it's a 102.06. 04 actually. Yeah. And I think he kind of, I mean, he didn't tie it. I think he got like a 08.
Yeah, 08.
Super insane time. I mean, actually for Chaos, wait, what's Chaos's PB? I think Chaos was like, wait, Stravos might PB? No, I think they literally like almost tied their PB. I think Stravos' PB is like a 27.
Oh my god.
I think Stravos actually tied his PB. Like, that's
Stravos
amazing if you think about it.
Stravos tied his PB. Chaos was a few seconds off his PB.
Yeah.
And well, Nitro's PB is kind of ridiculous, so you can't really spend him to do that, but yeah.
Like, in terms of his split, Stravos might actually have PB'd. I don't know what's his split exactly. He actually started late. I think he literally PB'd by like a second.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Like, really I actually think he PB'd by a second because he started a second late. And that's actually going to be insanely terrible to run against, because his early game was like theoretical, like TARS shit. Yeah. That was nuts.
Wow, what a race. That was so close.
Amazing stuff.
You know, Nitro pulled it together. Like, you know, he took the lead and he didn't let go.
Yeah.
He wanted revenge. He wanted revenge from the last time, I know.
And that's kind of like Nitro showing he has this competitive drive going. He takes the lead. He's gonna be holding on to that stuff. But yeah, amazing stuff.
You know, Lil Curve's having a tough time. You know, he struggled from the beginning. Hey,
It
maybe
pretty
he was
much
a bit
was only
nervous.
that though. Like he also played amazing. It was really just the early game messing with him, and
Yeah.
he didn't make many mistakes after, so he still played amazing
So yeah.
stuff.
So
Well,
for anyone watching that wants to run this game, we have a Discord going on. The community is awesome community in SMO. Just join the Discord, ask any question you want. People is really open to give a hand. As you can see, the game is already super optimized, really cool, really fun to run. So yeah.
there's literally at all times going to be some person able to help you. There's amazing resources out right now to learn this game. It's super fun. Like actually using the movement is so fun. Like when you get one of those hard tricks, it will feel so rewarding. I mean, at some point you might miss it and tilt, but that's speedrunning for you. But I can just recommend everyone try it out. I think it's an insane speed game.
I don't know what time curves got. 103:15. Okay, I missed it.
And also, by the way, I don't know, not everyone is necessarily into speedrunning, but we have been saying this is super optimized, but literally a month ago we found one of the most game-breaking tricks, like most game-breaking mechanics that can be massively used for like all the categories. So if you are like into discovery stuff, if you are like into content stuff, you can still get into this game. There's like tons of possibility. But yeah, amazing stuff. I don't know if there's any interviews planned, if anyone's gonna.
Yeah, I think we're doing them. If they want to, for sure, let's do it.
I'm definitely down if there's like any channel for that.
Oh, Nicro actually golded, and his Salmon Fest is 100:59 now. Nice.
All right, I think there might be like a channel we can drop in. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, we need to go to the GSA.
Or we can just,
I think.
What's up? I think Ohai might still be here. I might have just lost the camera view though, but that's fine. As far as we can have this little interview in here. Stravos also joining the fray.
Wow.
Guys.
We tied, bro.
What a race.
Wait, Stravos, you PB'd, right?
Yeah, I PB'd by a second. I literally needed to gold moon to PB, and I golded moon earlier today by an insane amount. I thought that was good. But then I had a mistakeless moon.
What? What'd you get?
Mistakeless. I beat my already amazing, possibly best moon gold by 1.5 seconds.
What? No.
Yeah, I literally needed
Wait, you got
to.
the 515?
Yeah, I needed to beat my moon gold by a second to PB, and I just said screw the race at that point and went for everything I possibly could, and got PB.
I tied someone at least in something.
Yo, Nicro also joining, Lil Curbs also joining. Any words on that stuff?
GG's. Congrats, Stravos, on dude. That was sick.
Thanks.
You got a lot
Start was really solid.
Dude, Strav wasn't making a mistake till Seaside.
Until Seaside. My first big mistake was Seaside, and I just kind of lost everything. I was overconfident, because Stravy side,
See, my run was pretty much the opposite, where I lost a minute early game, but then played really well for the end game.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what we were just saying at the end. Like, it was pretty much the early game, and then you literally played, like, your potential was pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah,
like all of you played so well.
I only had 2 major mistakes. It was missing, I think I was missing double dram, and then I missed the second hat on Bowser Cloud, and that's it. Everything else was like near.
Like, just compare it to the last race. I mean, I'm not memeing or anything, but you literally everyone got snowed in first try. Everyone got nut clip. Everyone got everything basically. I mean, FMS being mean to someone, it happens to anyone. But other than that, amazing stuff, dude.
Yeah, I forgot to do the first load for Cap. So
that's what happened.
I realized 22. Yeah, because I recently golded Cap on one of my first loads, so I thought, okay, well, when you switch files, you don't have to do the first load thing again. So I was pretty confident with that. I thought we figured that out, but guess not. It's only sometimes it resets it. It's really weird.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It was crazy because by sand you were already ahead, and we were like, wow, this guy was like 3 seconds behind at the beginning for free, and now he's ahead. So yeah, really, really sick stuff.
Yeah, I've been practicing my early game, but my late game suffering, I guess.
Whew, your moon isn't, dog.
Except moon.
So definitely super awesome stuff. And as you guys see, any percent racing can be super amazing to watch. And I do have the honor right here, boys. GSA is actually going to be hosting an any percent tournament very soon. You are about to find some details soon. Make sure to follow here, to follow on Twitter, follow the boys. They're making amazing content right now, and we are going to take this to the next level. Join the Discord resources right here for the Discord too. This is going to be a very big tournament, and I'm definitely going to be super hyped for it. Like, racing in any percent in SMO is super fun to watch.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that puts my sum of best down to 100.47 now, by the way.
Nice.
You're crazy.
I
Is
got
that
5
legal?
golds today.
Is that legal?
I think Nick got 2 golds in this run. Wait, Strav, did you gold sand? But Nick, you golded something, right?
I golded Cap in Metro.
Damn.
Nice.
I never rolled anything.
I got a Metro Gold, then Bowser's
Okay,
Gold.
Man.
Lord
All of us
Massey,
playing
back
so well.
Never rolled it.
But Lil Curbs still had it third though. It was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Amazing spread, especially if you get it. It looks so cool, dude. I've been messing with it just today. It's weird, but once you learn it, it's not that hard, and it's so fun to do too. It actually makes practicing fun again.
Yeah, it's a really fun strat when you get it, but when you miss it,
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
unfortunate.
much everything. But yeah,
I don't know. I felt like after luncheon the race was over. To be honest, I just
Same.
fucked up. It was that turnip club
Like-
was atrocious.
In luncheon, I felt like our places were pretty much set.
Yeah. I
Tried
mean,
my
after
best to
that,
at
like,
least
it's
get
that-
second.
Yeah, I've been really confident in my late game lately, so I kind of felt like that too.
I think I got a BMPB this run. Let's go.
oh, for anyone
Oh.
watching, this is like a subcategory where you only do Bowser's and Moon. But yeah,
Good
everyone playing
dasta.
amazing today.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, that was it.
So yeah, thanks to the runners. Amazing race. Thanks GSA. Really cool. Thanks for the opportunity to commentate. Thank you to commentate with you. Really happy with it. And yeah, see you next time.
I got a finger crack ready for you guys.